Happy New Year. I'm recording this on January 1st. In my house, we keep our decorations up until all Three Kings Day, Epiphany, which is January 6th. Thank you so much for joining us this month at New Day for Human Trafficking Awareness Month. January, the entire month has been devoted to that purpose of fighting it together, seeing what we can do as people to help make our world a better place. And we have to ask ourselves, how did things get to this place? When we started New Day, the symbolic number of people around the world who were being trafficked, sold in modern day slavery was 27 million. And now that figure has gone up to 40.3 million, a huge jump as we get better at ferreting out where this is happening and what it looks like. And that number is from the International Labor Organization of the UN and several other sources. So 40.3 million people in our world today in actual slavery. President Barack Obama framed it correctly several years back when he called this the worldwide resurgence of the modern day slave trade. So whether you voted for him or not, this is something we can all come together around and agree that slavery in our world is an abomination and not acceptable, and particularly when it comes to the enslavement of children, especially in the area in which New Day operates and seeks to serve the community, which is children who are being sold commercially for sex. And it's one of the greatest evils, truly, when you think about it, that adults would take little children and steal their innocence from them for the purpose of obtaining sexual gratification. What an evil. What supreme selfishness. And so how did it come to be that selling children for sex is one of the fastest growing components around the world globally, including in the United States, including in our own backyards? Selling of children at unprecedented levels. It didn't used to be this way in our own country. There's no over there anymore when it comes to these kinds of societal ills. Human trafficking and child sex trafficking is a global phenomenon worldwide. It looks different in different places. The worst places in our world today truly are in the continents of Africa and Asia, but there's nowhere that's exempt or immune. And the United States is one of the main consumers and purveyors of child sex trafficking in our world today. So how do we find ourselves in this place? We like to think of ourselves as modern and enlightened people working for things, making progress on social ills, and yet child trafficking is exploding in our own backyard and around the world globally. 40.3 million people in modern day bondage today being sold. One of the big game changers has been the internet. Most people today are bought and sold online, and the internet has had a huge impact when it comes to sexuality, how we conceive of ourselves as sexual beings, and just going over the top in sexual behavior, sexual mores. And the gasoline on that fire truly is pornography. Pornography just is causing sex trafficking everywhere to explode as people are looking for more and more to find sexual satisfaction. They're becoming jaded. It's estimated that the average age globally for boys to start viewing pornography in our world today is 8 because of internet accessibility. It's all at their fingertips. And for girls, it's not much farther behind. And we know in pornography that violence and rape is commonly depicted. Horrible things are acted out, and that's not even including the dark web where you can see anything and everything, including human beings being murdered. So this is accessible to us now as people globally, this type of thing, for the first time really, that we've had that kind of information and power at our fingertips to just indulge our curiosity wherever it leads us, wherever it takes us, and it's blurring the lines for everybody. And so this is one of the problems globally, that we are unable to put this in check. We're not good as a species at putting our own selves in check. And so then we see that happening culturally, this slippery slope. This is one of the big driving factors behind sex trafficking. Because again, the lines are being blurred for people. People are wanting to act out things that they see, and things that in the past, normal, just wouldn't have really entered the minds of people, typical people, to indulge some of these fetishes and fantasies and behaviors that are commonplace in our world today. This is being fueled by what we have accessible to us online. So along with pornography, then we also have our culture, social media, the things that we view are entertainment, movies, TV shows, music. And again, there's a general coarsening, things that, you know, there was just a level. If you think back to big band era or Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, the Beach Boys, a simpler time, a more innocent time. And you look now at the lyrics that our youth in particular are consuming on a regular basis, very over the top, overt sexuality, a lot of violence being linked with sexuality in those entertainment choices. And this also has an effect, an impact. And so we have to look at all of that, because these are the things day in, day out that add up to how we express ourselves and how we think, what we value, what we enjoy, and then how that translates into our actions and choices that we make. We have some work to do as human beings, and we need to be asking ourselves the question, because this is available to me, because I can do this, should I do this? At what cost? How can I dial it back? How in my family can we pull back and step back and take a look at our prevailing culture and say, is this helpful? Is this making me a happier human being, a wiser human being, a person with more self-control, a person making a contribution that I would want to make to our world? So we need to ask ourselves these serious questions, individually and then corporately, in our schools, in our civic groups, in our churches and synagogues and mosques, and come together and try to seek the good, go for the good. There's a verse in the Hebrew scriptures in the Bible, the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 6 verse 15 says, they have forgotten how to blush. And that's an interesting comment on his world, the ancient world, when those words were penned, and just as fresh today. They've forgotten how to blush. What does that mean? What are the implications of that? So as a people globally, as we enter into this new year, we're thinking globally because of COVID. We're all in that together. And we're also all in this mess of human trafficking and child sex trafficking together. But we're not helpless. We are not helpless. We can fight evil in our world. We can fight child sex trafficking. We can all agree together that children should not be sexually exploited and sold online, sold in hotels and motels and brothels and fields and wherever these things happen, that this is wrong. We know in our heart of hearts, all of us have a conscience and know that it is wrong to rob the innocence of a child. So this is something that we need to think about and examine and come together and fight collectively. And we have made a huge dent. The word is getting out. Light is being shown in dark places where it has not been shown before, but there's so much still to do. So we thank you for being a friend of New Day, for being a champion of the kids that we serve, of American children who are so often forgotten and fall through the cracks. And we thank you for journeying with us this month as we promote some articles and other informative videos and activities that you can participate in. We want to wish you a happy 2021, a healthy and prosperous and safe 2021. And again, thank you for being friends of New Day for Children. God bless you.